Okay, I guess we are live now. So yeah, nothing too crazy today, and ooh, I just realized there's a little issue with my 1 second. This bothers me now. 1 second, let me go on Krita, and let's fix some stuff real quick. Yeah, let me fix the bezel on the edge of the camera just to make it a little bit nicer, and then we're gonna actually start working on Jan stuff. Some Jan work. I just want to get this done because I think it's a pretty simple operation to do, and I should just do it. Very soft looking corner. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe not as big. Not as big. More like this. A little bit more. I don't know why this is so. Why are you like this? Why are we like this? I don't like that at all. I just want a good, clean shape. That's all a gamer wants. You see, like, there's little blotches, like little. I don't like that. I don't want that. I want it to be a clean shape. It's called blending mode. I don't want any of that. Give me just a harsh MS Paint type brush. That's all I want. I need just a simple brush that just says, hey, these colors. Okay, there we go. Exactly what I need. Dun, 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 dun. Dun. There we go. Perfect. I think it's pretty chunky. Pretty soft, but we can go a little softer. Yeah, a little soft. Ain't nothing wrong with going a little soft. That's a fun line out of context. Okay, export. (16:9) chunky, or let's say medium. Okay, we're gonna change the image mask to be a different image. Of course, this didn't export as a PNG, because why would you do that when you could just be a created doc? That's annoying. Alright. Yes, I don't care. Okay, here we go. Nice. Exactly. Precisely what I want. Okay, you can close this. No. Nar. And we can start working on stuff. I'll put on some music in the background because that doesn't hurt. And we're just gonna get coding here. So the last time we were debugging this weird issue where I could paint stuff in level, like so, but then when we enter play mode, it would be gone. And we had it working for a second, so I'm not sure. We're trying to figure out what's going on there. Once I do fix that issue, it would be pertinent to shift gears and work on some other editor stuff. Yeah, work on some editor stuff. To be like, just to make it better. Have more better commands. Maybe add selection, who knows. Selection would be a pretty gnarly thing to implement, but we shall see. Oh, that's crazy. Things are showing we're offline. Okay. Ooh, the connection's spotty. Connection's a little spotty. I think so, at least. Okay. So let's inspect the level contents. I think that'd be the easiest thing to do. We can go into here, set runtime level data, editor. Something happens here. You pass an editor state and session. So I would think we would break this up into two places. We would do, no, not that. So we can actually see what's going on here. Or actually cut out the middleman, just created content, and then new line that bad boy, and then run it, and let's see what the editor says. So yay, we have our level editor here. Fantastic. Let's place some weird blocks, like the Lola blocks. That's definitely gonna be weird. Let's place her up here and back here. Okay, now let's actually play the game. Press play. Okay, so let's see what we got here. What did you say, editor? Bunch of stuff. Here we go. Create a level content. So interesting. Interesting stuff. So for whatever reason, put this music down a little bit. Lola isn't popping up there. Only the G1 stuff. So what does that lead me to believe? What does that lead me to suspect is the cause of this issue? And do we have any of the loads here? Nope, just registering of assets as we'd expect. Cool. So for some reason, either we're not updating the right source of the data, or we are somehow giving the wrong thing. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Let's go to engine. And what are we doing here? We're passing in editor.state. Is there like some other thing we got going on here that may or may not have messed up? Let's do something. Let's do... And then... I mean, that shouldn't really change much, but... I don't know, man. I just want to cross off everything. I am back, Evratic. A little bit back. Been on a break, been on a little journey. But we're coming back into it little by little. I'm not making anything too public. I'm doing sneaky little streams at night. And yeah, I've just been working on some stuff I haven't announced. One of these things is a custom game engine I've been writing. So this little engine here, who's meant to fit my hand perfectly. So I'm able to just design levels the way I want to without having to use any mouse or any mouse at all. I just use pure keyboard so I can build the level, the Mega Man game of my dreams, and I should be able to navigate all this stuff and build levels as quickly as I program. Oh, no. But, you know, with writing an engine, a lot of stuff to work with. Oh, from online. Yeah, it's the being away has been very helpful. It's given me a lot of time to think about a lot of things in general. The future of like Cozy Cabin Games and what it's supposed to be. It made me a couple different things, right? Being away from online, like when you're online frequently on Discord or Instagram or what have you, or even just like other social media stuff, you don't realize how much those things affect you and kind of cloud your judgment to certain degrees. So having this like month where I just completely separated away from all that stuff helped greatly with prioritization, learning stuff, decluttering my brain. And one thing that's kind of come to the forefront is the idea of like, you know, what is important in leadership, right? And the conclusion, or at least one important component of that I've kind of come to conclude, is that vision is very important. Because without vision, where are you guiding the ship? So with that understanding, I've been kind of playing a bunch of different games and just looking through my motivation of making games in general and asking myself, what is the vision for Cozy Cabin Games? And I think I've kind of come to quite a bit of understanding of what I want to do, and I want to prepare some stuff before I dive more into it, but and give a proper update. But yeah, it's been very helpful taking this time to do that. And then of course I switched to Linux. I'm a Linux guy now, you know, so I had fun setting up that new environment and everything, and porting everything over and having a fresh start, and then rewriting this engine from the ground up in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks in C++. I love writing in C++. It's fantastic, and it's like so great because like the game is so much smaller than a Unity project. So like what you saw right now, I rewrote that as well in Unity to compare the size and performance and whatnot, and it's kind of goofy how much, like, keep in mind, right, this, what you saw right now is the game plus an editor, so it's the editor plus the game. Like, I can edit stuff and then you can play it, and this is significantly lighter than a Unity project that's just the game. It's pretty insane. I have the data here somewhere. I could pull up on Discord. One second, because that's the place I post I have a personal file dump area there. Actually, no, I have it on folder here. But yeah, it's pretty kind of crazy. It's like a 40 or 200% difference in size and memory occupation and everything. Speaking of OS, Windows forced me to restart my PC while I was working, then didn't let me access my PC until I agreed to a Windows 11 update. That's tragic. Now I want to switch. Yep. That's yep. That'll do it. Windows is not it's increasingly less and less friendly to users. So yeah, here's like a little comparison image where you can see this test is written in Unity and it has like, it's already using 77 megabytes to run and has like 0.44% CPU utilization, which keep in mind, like this is just, I'll even open it up right now so you can see it for yourself. This is just a level with 3 tiles on it. And that occupies this amount. Whereas mine, with the engine bundled with it and everything, it takes like only 16.9 megabytes plus like 0.12% of CPU utilization. Like way, way less for so much more. So yeah, and then I was also doing cache performance comparison as well, but it's not really that significant. There's not, that really starts coming up with the more complexity you have in the project. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, I recommend though switching to Linux, or just switching to any OS besides Windows if you care about actually, I don't know, being productive and having ownership over what you're doing. Even though, you know, Linux has its weird stuff that's going on, but yeah, it's nothing in comparison to what's going on with Windows. I forgot. Like, I've always been annoyed with Windows and I've always been talking about switching to Linux, but what made me switch was nothing to do with weird Windows stuff. What made me switch was just the fact that to do simple, like to install dev kit stuff for, like, for example, Emscripten, it's like this whole weird freaking process on Windows, because like if you have the Linux subsystem, you have to do other stuff, and it's so messy to install different things on Windows. Whereas here, I can just do sudo apt-get and then whatever, it's in there. You know, like you can just paste a command, it works. It's just great. It's why can't it be that simple? Why must it be complicated? Why do we got to do that to ourselves? So like that's what made me switch. Surprisingly, it's not the end of support coming in October or any of that stuff. I just want to do coding easy, but I think I get the gist of it. Yeah, like it's super simple. It's super, just program stuff is so easy, and then of course modularity and stuff too. It's nice. You can just swap out components and whatnot. I'm gonna do way more customization at some point, but even like, I mean, I guess you could do this in Windows too, but in fact I have done it in Windows, but it's just more jank. Like having different terminals in Windows is, like, I'm not using the default terminal that comes with Linux. I'm using like something called Westterm, and it's nice because I could have it do like look different, and it's faster and it's GPU driven, so I can do bunch of goofy fun stuff with this. I don't know, it's just nice. I have this control over it. I have the control over it. And we're gonna keep doing some optimizations to be like no mouse. We're gonna get this guy right here, this guy you see right here, we're gonna get rid of him. I wanna get rid of him at some point. There's something called i3, which is like a window manager that lets you manage your windows without having to do any mouse stuff, like none of it. The concept of Windows is just different. It's just fundamentally changed, but I'm not there yet. But yeah, so yeah, if you want an easy distro, Ubuntu is always good. That's what I've been using, because even though I like messing around with stuff, I also just want to get on the ground running. For music though, I'm actually kind of curious, because I wonder what DAWs work good for. Let me Google this actually. What DAWs are supported on Linux? Of course. Okay, Reaper and Renoise. I know Reaper's a big one. Studio One. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Always been a little bit curious about Reaper. But for right now, I'm still stuck with my laptop that runs my audio equipment. Because, I use Studio One A. I have arrived. Terrell! Huzzah! 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 Welcome, friend. It's been so long. Too long. Studio One, you recommend? I think you got me to consider it heavily before. It looks nice. The thing that had me interested is the pitch controls on there, because FL Studio kind of sucks with that. I think what's gonna have to happen is I'm gonna have to sell my Apollo. By the way, I have an Apollo, you know, because big money guy, big money, Mr. Big Money over here with his Apollo twin with a single core, because that's all I could afford at the time. And realistically, I couldn't even afford it. That was on a credit card, so we're still paying for that. We're still paying interest for that 5 years later. But yeah, ideally, I'm going to sell the Apollo. I'm going to get something that just works, that has good drivers for Linux. And we're just going to full send it. This is going to be all Linux all day, baby. Cross-grade discounts, whatever you get. Oh, yeah, you did mention that, the cross-grade. You're like, look at that. Look at that. FL has some stuff like that, but it's just not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. Or, how about this? How about we use a real man's DAW, okay? Like, look at this. This is for sissies, all right? Look at all these useful, good UX, UI that's available for people. That's for Weenie Hut Juniors, all right? Real men. Let me show you what real men use. Let me show you what real men use. Where's programs? This is the real DAW. The real DAW. This is a DAW. This is a DAW right here. Does your DAW have a startup like that? No, it doesn't, I bet. Oh, look at this. What are we? Are we programming? No, we're not. We're composing music right now, baby. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, I'm gonna start working with this at some point. I grew up, my first actual like DAW, we can say, was FamiTracker. FamiTracker is where I grew up, alright? FamiTracker was my DAW. This is where I started. No fancy GUIs, none of this, okay? Just hard coding. And it was fantastic. It was fantastic. You could tell the thing to like vibrato exactly how you want a vibrato, to pitch the way you want it. It was so beautiful. FL Studio could never. Studio One, Reaper, none of these guys have the same control that FamiTracker can give you. Oh man. This is how we started. This is how it worked. We began here. And I got fat and lazy once I moved to FL Studio. But you know what? Maybe we gotta hit the gym. We have to go back into the laboratory and graduate to Furnace. Did I close it already? And learn about FM synthesis. A lot of the sound effects for Messy Mansion or Stain World for the prototype, I used this because it actually has like actual authentic chipset emulation, so it actually sounds pretty nice and feels kind of authentic. It's not just a sample that you pitched, you downsampled. It was a real, you know, like you You can choose what kind of thing you're going here, and you can choose all the different operators and choose how you composite all the sound waves. It's pretty gnarly. You get some pretty cool sounds. You get something that's very expressive. In fact, I think not this song. What song? What song is it? So there's a bunch of people I've been listening to. There are 3 people really, and they primarily use Furnace for a lot of their compositions. And it's amazing what you can get out of it. Like this one here, banger of a song. And you can see the FM channels here from Furnace. It's like masterclass stuff. Hey, we're gonna just put that ditty on for a second. But yeah, that's like making music the hard way, the fun way. Oh, dude, I want to play some Mighty Gunvolt. Should we stop programming and just play games? Because like hearing this makes me just want to like do a no-hit run. But yeah, fantastic! It's amazing what you can get out of Furnace, and I think that'll be the next thing I deep dive into is either learning Furnace. Yeah, I'll link it to you. I'm either gonna learn Furnace or I can go full Cave Story and write my own tracker. Cause like, why not? I'm already writing a game engine. Am I not? I'm already writing a game engine. Why not write my own synthesizer? Like, but yeah, why not write my own tracker and synthesizer? I mean, I'm making a fictional console, so why not make my own fictional chipset, audio set, you know? Yeah, such a good song, dude. What am I doing? I'm gonna transform registry. But yeah, it's pretty amazing what can be done on this. Oh, he did? Oh, he did mention that, didn't he? He wrote that in, what was it, Java, I think? Yeah, because he mentioned he did some stuff with that. Maybe I should pick his brains about it. Yeah, it'd be cool to explore that. Yeah, and there's something nice about having everything hand-rolled yourself. Like Cave Story, if you know Cave Story, let me show you. It's like one of the early games that kind of pioneered the idea of an independent game, a game made by one person. And it's kind of insane, because Buddy this guy not only wrote his own engine and made his game and did the art and composed the music, but he wrote the tracker, the tools to make his own music. So when you listen to Cave Story's soundtrack, it sounds very distinct and it's very different. It doesn't sound just like chiptune like the NES. It sounds kind of like it, but different. It has its own flavor to it, and it's because this guy made his own sauce and cooked with it. Oh, such a good song. But yeah, so along with this engine, there's a new game I'm thinking of making. I'm not abandoning Messy Mansion. I'm gonna make it happen. We're gonna finish it. I'm gonna make an actual like state of the cabin video so we can have it for posterity. But yeah, I think Messy Mansion will be the final game I make in Unity before switching to like this. Yeah, there's a bunch of ideas I want to explore with here. And this is also another Furnace song. Yeah, it's crazy. You can emulate so many different chipsets on there. So you have stuff used for the SNES and the Sega not Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, or Sega Genesis and whatnot. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Splendid even. But yeah, no, we need to finish Messy Man. I'm gonna finish Messy Mansion up. This is like, this game is gonna be the next thing we work on. I can't not do stuff, so starting this project and exploring it has been kind of the thing I'm doing to keep my hands busy before I get back into the thick of it with Messy Mansion. But yeah, man. So what I missed in this past month? My friend's review? No, actually, you know what? Let's go here. Let me... 1 second. Do I have to log into Newgrounds? No, I don't need to log into Newgrounds. Fantastic. Splendid even. And quite a number of things. Fartmaster the King. 1 second, let me... That yellow thing, that yellow highlight is just so satisfying when you see it. I had to stop because it's so addicting. Like, you just keep refreshing Newgrounds to see if you get like a new thing. Okay, which one is your friend's review? Oh, there's quite a lot here. Great initial implementation. This certainly shows promise. Love the way the lighting and audio land rather softly and smoothly, but retain their connection to low poly, low bit style. Is this the one? Okay, yeah. I just kind of assumed the person with the most feedback was probably the person who reviewed. The baseline movement feels quite nice, and messing around with the chain jump abilities to get more out of them is a rewarding process. Interesting. This is the first person who actually enjoyed the chained, like the wall jumping. I believe that's what you're talking about, right? The chain jump, unless you're talking about like the double jump. I'd love to see it be leveraged for goop cleaning challenges of sorts, not unlike Mario Sunshine or Dust Force. Yeah. It can be a bit punishing though, with falling down platforms or into water, setting you back a lot relative to the mistake made. Some shortcuts or potential for movement optimizations might make the run back more pleasant. The fight with this turret boss that does waves of homing bullets is a good example of this. I'm not horrible at platformers, and previously fell down when trying that boss. Interesting. Wait, which one? Homing bullets. Climb up to the fight with the boss with this turret boss. Oh, like I'm assuming the one that's like the one towards the right from where you start. The one by the buildings in the water. That's not really narrowing things down. The one that has like the overhanging architecture. Pet peeve of notoriously difficult to implement mechanic is how the wall jump sticks you in place on contact. Yeah, I removed that, especially in 3D. 1 second. Let me lower this down a little bit. God, I've been playing Shovel Knight and it is changed, or at least highlighted what games can be in when you have a clear focus on what the game's gonna be and the gameplay loop. It's just alright. Anyways, not before I start going a tangent. Let's go getting going up platforms a ton, retaining upward momentum but halting downwards momentum to still get some form of walking seems to be like it'd be most in line with the current design. A lot of ways to go about this. It's worth experimenting with several iterations to get this aligned. I think if I do the wall jumping, takes a few minutes to get back up. Okay. A lot before the final boss. Okay. Oh, fell down a lot. Okay. Let's. The final boss is the paper hat person, right? So I'm assuming when you say fall down, you're talking about like the moving platform thing. 1 second. But yeah, I removed the wall jumping. If I were to add it, I definitely would have to have it preserve your momentum, like maybe like a wall run instead, so you retain your upward momentum. I don't know. Wall jumping was actually busted in this game. I only later found out that it was broken because the detection for the, if this is the player, the collider that detects if you're grabbing onto a wall is actually up here. So you can be on a wall, but if it was a ledge and it was empty up here, it wouldn't detect a wall grab. So that's fun. Exploration was fun and freeing, and I greatly appreciate the hints dropped around what seems like the current halfway point, monitors indicating the pipelines, using the environment to guide where the progress is located keeps it nice and diegetic. Hey, and I think applying some more, diegetic is such a great keyword, and I think applying some more of such feedback could help game grow clear, yet open, rewarding instances of the spike walls with unclear removal conditions come to mind. Goop cleaned, enemies killed, in which playing some effective VFX. Yep. Yeah, that's one of the big things. The overarching thing is just communicating state change. Because like there's this thing that would happen where communicating conditions and changes of state. Conditions being that some conditions weren't very clear to players. So communicating what these conditions are so they understand what the goal is. And then second of all, state changes, because things would happen in the world, but we don't show it to them. So they don't know what happened. They know something must have happened, but they don't know what exactly it is. Which, it isn't great for player and game feedback loops. Awesome stuff, though. This is... Thank you for taking time to write such in-depth feedback. Coming back from my online break, this is great information to iterate and explore upon. In which playing some VFX, yeah, spikes process. I don't want to do something small. You asked what else you missed. Newgrounds audio deathmatch began. Yep, saw that. Newgrounds audio underdog content is in the final round. And AIM concluded. Oh snap! A lot of things been going on. All the audio stuff went down. Yeah, I remember I was considering doing the underdog competition. I almost submitted it too, but I decided last minute. Alright, I didn't decide last minute. I was like, I'm gonna sleep on it, and then I was too tired. Yeah, this year we're sitting out. I should go listen to the submissions though. Now that things are in the final, either concluded or in the final rounds. This is great information. All honesty. I'll save this for off stream. I want to give this some thought. Right, I can't get past the tutorial or whatever that was, the checkpoints you have. Direction as well. Interesting, the checkpoint points you in the wrong direction. I like the game especially. Hey, that's sweet. Probably the best part in this flash. That's kind of crazy calling it a flash. The controls look wild to play and master with tighter controls and more. Yeah, I need to figure out the control stuff. Oh, that's old. That's forever ago. That's from Robot Day. But yeah, controls is another thing we have to work on. All in due time. All in due time. Full version then. Small for now. Yeah, there's definitely more plot. But yeah, I've been playing a lot more. If you're interested, I can send you a doc with more details. Wait, let's see here. There's a large collab going on in the orchestral side of the community. Basically a Dark Souls inspired OC with custom lore and world. Oh, that's interesting. Going on the orchestral side of the community, basically Dark Souls inspired OST with custom lore and world map. Sweet, so someone provides lore and map materials, and then all you guys kind of collaborate to make an OST. That's cool. If you're interested, I can send you a doc with more TC. Yeah, it would be cool to check out the doc at the very least and see what's going on there. Yeah, I need to start getting the composition stuff off. Fart master the king. That's amazing. What is this profile? What is this guy? That's it's amazing how simple. On the lore too, and we're collaborating. Okay, so you can add your own locations to integrate it. Interesting. It'll be kind of cool to see the map and the story behind all the areas. Collaboration on narratives and stuff like that seems very outside of my. I'm not too familiar with that in general, so it'll be cool to see how you guys approach it. Yeah, I need to get back on this. Time to get back onto it in general. Let me see if I can even open. Let's do something a little crazy, guys. Let's open up. I haven't opened up Messy Mansion since pre-break. Ooh, do I open it up right now and take a look? I know I was doing like some minor changes here and there. Oh my goodness. Ugh, Unity. For context, I work with Unity 8 hours a day, and to come home and be like, all right, let's do some Unity. Let's get some Unity work. Like, I saw the Unity startup icon and instantly kind of just wanted to barf a little bit. Sweet. Is it on Discord? I'm assuming Discord. Let's go on here. One sec. Discord. See, this is why we're making my own engine. This is why we're doing that. It's infinitely funner and better for the brain. Okay, yes, I am online. I am on Discord. And yes, we have things to respond to. Okay, here we go. Oh, this looks cool. This looks really cool. That's the map? Oh my goodness. This is, there's quite a lot to this, actually. This is really cool lore. Or just the map in general. I'm wondering about the lore now. Conjured Clerics. Blighted Forest. Brunud Aud. Starting Zone. Smelly Swamp. Ace Mantra's Isle. Stratusport. Very, very cool. And I'm assuming there's a dock too here with the lore. Using form. It's a very foundational bedrock of old energies pulsating beneath your feet for 100 millennia or decaying. Huh. Story graphics coming soon. Oh snap. Oh wait, I forgot. This is 2025. We don't read, right, guys? We don't do that. We don't do any reading. Where's the? Oh, I'm not using Edge. Never mind. I don't have the AI tools. Sometimes at work when I get a document, I like in front of them being like, "Oh, nice document you prepared," and then open up Edge and be like, "Summarize this," just to be like, just to mess with them. Just be like, "Yep. Oh, nice work you did." Copilot, tell me what's going on here. I can't read. I've lost my capabilities. Echoes of the magic and divinity which founded these lands, though, are also dying. Most of the ones born from. You know, I kind of like. I shouldn't be surprised, but like this feels like the lore of Lord of the Rings, but far more pessimistic. I think that's just the general thing of Dark Souls games in general, right? Like, with Lord of the Rings, you have this, you have Ariel Luvatar, and they're creating the song, and they're singing, and then Melkor creates discord on it, and he causes issues, but there's still like a strong hope, right? There's like the people who are aligned with Luvatar, and then there's Melkor doing his own thing. But here it's like, no, everything is in decay. Like, you're in this state of a fallen, like everything's in a fallen state, except for this thing that's brought up here. On the endless expanse beyond the world's edge, beyond the boundaries of these. The most powerful echoes of magic. Also dying. Yeah, they're all dying, or not like the ones. I guess Lord of the Rings takes place in that similar situation where everything is failing, like everything is in a dark age and decay. Decay underneath their kingdoms and only serving truth. Oh, interesting. Okay. So you have the second layer here. A lot of words. Too bad I ain't reading them. Entropy is the core theme in the story, but some populations are doing well in spite of the decay. Interesting. As the base story, we expand on it a lot. Okay, very cool though. I think it's an interesting thing to play around with. Having entropy be manifested across all these different things, contributions, world building. Okay, these are like guidelines. Yeah, your contributions and other work. Technical guidelines, orchestral folk. Yeah. Oh, you actually did the thing. You posted this. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. So you have like a unified... That's cool. So even though different people are producing music, they all still have a similar sound. So it still feels unified. This is just cool to read in general. A nice resource. And OC inspirations, free libraries, Tokyo scoring strings free. That's cool. I need to. Well, one day I'll go back to more realistic recording. Yep, Orchestra Fantasy. Yep, that's cool. This is good. I should look at this stuff. There's like, I've only used Philharmonic and that's it. Like Philharmonic is the one thing I've been using for all my orchestral stuff, and then a Contact for like the big band stuff, but that's about it. Big band and drums. This is cool though. This is cool. I'm gonna keep eye out for this. Laura is just info slop of our generation. Don't mind me. Just going insane at work. Chat GPT. Alexa, please write me a moving story about the opposite of entropy. Make it sad though. Also, Dark Souls. Let's see what kind of robbery this is gonna do. No. Oh my goodness, we're using all the tokens today. Alright, I'm gonna stop you here. Summarize this in one word. Unbecoming. Alright guys, I have my contribution. I have my contribution. I'm gonna add a single word. Unbecoming. What can I say, guys? I'm something of a writer myself. Something of a writer. No help, no aid, just from the dome. This is cool though. I like this. The framing, the levels of this. It offers a lot of pliability for people to play with in terms of finding their hook for their particular thing, their particular narrative they want to add on. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty rad. I'll be watching this with, is this happening in the, one sec, what's going on here? Oh, that's live. Is this happening in the Newgrounds audio pub? Oh, snap. Winners? Where is this? Scored a top 3 placing Newgrounds. That's not related to anything. Audio Deathmatch 2025. AIM. Oh, there's all stuff going on there. Contest ideas. I'll look for it later. In the orchestral server here. Oh, that joint. That joint. Bam. Bam. Sick. Wait, what is... Orchestral hideout. Interesting. I shouldn't be doxing servers. Okay, I'll keep my peepers out here. I'll keep my peepers out here. I need to get rid of... I have so many discords I need to... Like, yeah, we're gonna clean this up one day. We're gonna clean this up one day. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. Oh, you don't have the roll? Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Also, this loaded, and I'm seeing errors. I'm seeing errors and exceptions, and things don't look right. Let's see if this game runs. Okay, sweet. That's great. So I get this game. I guess this game doesn't work great in Linux. Oh wait, 1 second. Unless it does, and I'm just being stupid. Guys, I forgot to install Counter-Strike Source. My bad. We're missing textures. I feel like I'm playing Gary's model over again. Play maximize, unfocused. Well, this is gonna be fun. I can see the thing. Okay, so I see the functionality. Stuff is happening here. And you can see how the lighting works in a kind of jank way. The trench is for me. Internal yelling English. Check again. It gave you a roll. Oh, sweet. Also check show all channels and settings. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go back to Discord. Sweet. Okay, here we go. Lead motif planning. Oh my goodness. You know, it's super foreign. Like, music composition is usually a really solitary activity for me. So I really don't know how it looks like to collaborate with people. Outside of like, I'm the authority of this, and you are gonna do one particular thing, and then you get out. This is interesting. This is interesting. And here's a world building chat. Oh, that's not happy. That's very sad. Dang. Why does this keep No, that's something else. That reminded me of something else though. Everradix canyons. Oh, should I be not? Like, there's no one here. It's fine. Show all channels and settings. Oh, Show all channels and settings. Ha ha ha. Here? No, that's personal settings. Show all channels. Okay, there we go. That's a thing. Okay. Okay, contests. Cool. That's from early. Main docs. Okay, and here's the lore dump stuff. Okay, cool. But yeah, this is really interesting. Very interesting. I'm not, oh my goodness, sheet music too? Oh my goodness, look at us. Digga 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 digga. I should probably dust off the old trombone. All right, 1 second. Let's silence this music real quick. Let's just peep at this. Let's peep. Or maybe we shouldn't. It's a hidden channel, right? Maybe they may not consent to having their work be broadcasted to all two of us for the entirety of the internet history. Is that Deltarune? But that's the thing I should probably play at some point too, right? Yeah, I'll do that at some point. This is pretty sick, though. This is what I love about Newgrounds. All these opportunities for creativity and just exploring stuff and collaborating. I can't think of many places where that kind of thing is fostered. Hey, familiar face. I remember this guy. Give and get feedback. This is the only finish I can show you because it's already public. Okay, sweet. Let me close here. Oh my goodness! Look at this. Look at this art. Art inspired for the pre-AIM contest, Newgrounds. This is fantastic art. Oh, you source all the instruments too. That's pretty sick. That's helpful for people. 4 point, yeah. That 0.5 matters. That 0.5 matters. I remember there's a person, I was composing music for a game. It was for Hermia, and the guy who's doing the audio, Brennan. He was like, "Hey, what's the BPM for your song? I want to do some stuff in FMod with it." And I was like, "Oh, it's like I forgot. It's like 32.3345." He's like that exactly. He's like, "Yeah, I felt." He's like, "Why that?" I was like, "It felt too slow if it was 43.2, and it felt too fast when it was 43.4. So, 42.33." All right, it makes a difference. Okay, we're gonna listen to this. Both headphones in. I'm sorry. Was that feedback on me? Yeah, that's me. Oh yeah. Devil's instruments. The multiple instruments, yeah. Ooh, and the smooth. Laying off the tension for a second. The strings, very nice. Ooh. And it feels very... Like, clearly with the percussion and everything, it's like very high stakes in combat and everything, right? And with the joint, like, unisons, it's like very much selling the big proportions of everything you're doing. But there's like an element of like trickery that's in there. Yeah. Yeah, I think like the bells and those lines from that add that little element to it. Very nice though. These subtle differences. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we can't look at music the same, right? I'm not sure what you're referencing in relation to that though. Yeah, this is super sweet. But it's like, you're taking you're providing some release, but it's not quite there. Especially with the chord you go to after that. On the chorus there. Choir. Baritones or something. Yeah, I love this little... I love that little break before we get back into the intensity. It's coming for you. It's gonna come. There's no. You're not free yet. Danger's still here. Yeah, that clarinet is also what adds that little element of like, not whimsy, but like trickery. Like there's something afoot that isn't as simple as you perceive it. Like, there's combat themes where it's just very direct. This thing is gonna kill you, or it's trying to kill you, and that's it. This is like, yeah, you're fighting for your life, but there is something odd that's afoot here that if you don't catch on to it, will be the thing that gets you. Like, there's an immediate danger, but then there's a secret danger that's like lying underfoot. That's the vibe I get from it. The canyon. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at this lore. Canyon Cleaver is eternally cursed and has to carve canyons to channel frozen. Okay. Is eternally cursed and has to carve canyons to channel frozen water from the north. Neighboring God Tears region, which is very lush and beautiful. Okay, he was once a great god. Okay, interesting. And now he's cursed to perform that task. Oh, it's an interesting position to be in for that character. Having that once former title. I mean, I'm kind of curious now more about this. About why he's channeling it. Or I guess the relationship of the curse and that task he's forced to do. Like, I wonder if it's like a Sisyphean type thing. Interesting. Yeah, the gravitas is there though. The gravitas is there, 100%. To do something useful after causing havoc for so long. Okay, so it's mandated by a higher authority in that world. Interesting. Okay. So that's the utility he's bringing through his punishment, is channeling that ice water, I'm supposing, to a different region. Oh. Interesting. So now that he's gone, I wonder what's going on with him. If he's stuck, like, is he in this Wally type situation where he's still doing the things he was forced to do, even though the people who commanded him to do it have, like, I guess Wally's not the case because they're still around. That post-apocalyptic scenario where robots are still performing the why is this so sensitive? I know why it's sensitive. I just don't know why this is not. Whatever. But yeah, I wonder if that kind of scenario where he's tragically still cursed. Yeah, so he's stuck, cursed, doing this task, even though the person who issued it is gone, and he's likely decaying as he's stuck into this task. Oh yeah, what an image. If you look at the map. The map. W. Okay. The canyons, and then okay. So here's the valley with the water. So he's carving. What is he like carving channels from here to here to draw water into this desert wasteland? I wonder what's the Sisyphean like element that undoes his progress, that forces him to continuously be carving this out. Or I guess it's just humongous land. So it's just this task is humongous, and the time it takes to do one side eventually as you get across, this will erode away too. I guess there's reasonable explanations for that. Blighted forest. Interesting. You know, it's very interesting the role those mountains have. Like, if you look at New Zealand in the south, it's very interesting how all these different environmental factors change the topology of the land and the ecosystem of the land. New Zealand, South Island. And looking at this kind of made me realize, oh, there's so many different factors you can include into world building. Because, like, if you look at New Zealand, especially the South Island, 80% of this is, like, uninhabited. And you look at it, it's like, but there's so much land here. Why is most of this not inhabited by people? And why are most people living on the North Island? But there's this thing that happens. And it's two main factors. It's the geology, the fact that there's this large mountainous region here, but that's not the main issue. There's this humid air that comes through here, and you know it brings water and rainfall. But over here, you can't grow anything here. Why is that? Well, the thing is, when that air hits the mountains, something goes on here. But most of that property gets trapped over here, and instead of the wind that ends up coming here is dry and arid wind. So you have this area over here that's like super mountainous and hard to build on, and on top of that probably gets way too much rainwater. And then as a result of the mountains, you have this side here which is super dry and arid, which is not hospitable for planting most things, and as a result, that drives the human behavior where there's not much large settlements over here because not much land is very great for planting and stuff. It's pretty interesting how these different factors just shape how humans build and migrate. And you can see like it's super dry, like not much greenery over here, and all just due to the direction of the wind that blows in and the topology of the mountains that are over here. Because I guarantee you, if the mountains were like more on this side here, then there'd be way more land here that's ripe for planting and would have somewhat reasonable rainfall. But because the mountains are all on this edge, right on the face of the initial thing that gets hit by that rain or that wind, you have this property. But yeah, it's interesting, and the reason I thought of that is because looking at this map, you have this one area that's like super icy and cold, and then you have this area over here that's kind of arid and dried. Also, like you have this area here that's like rain or has water and is more lush, and then you have these mountain ranges and then dry. It just reminded me of that New Zealand stuff in the map planning, but don't know that much. Oh, I don't know much either. I just go on YouTube, man. It's amazing what kind of educational content you would find. What's this guy doing here? It's amazing how a map can evoke your imagination. But even then, like, it's amazing how much lore helps tie things together. Because I don't think I would have come up with something vastly different and probably inferior. Interesting. I just want to learn more about this world, man. Alright, so once you guys finish this, we're gonna do the game jam, or we're gonna do the Dark Souls game jam of making this map a reality. That's easy. Let's make a AAA production game in like a week. Easy. Light work. Totally doable. I wonder how much like big the map of Messy Mansion would be to scale. Like, I think this region kind of encapsulates the map of Messy Mansion, or the Stain World prototype. Which, you know, kind of small, but if you actually look at the scale of things, it's pretty sizable. I think that encapsulates, yeah, that encapsulates the whole map. You built this, or is it inspiration? No. So there's a Newgrounds, there's a thing. Everett, did you organize it? This is a thing that's being organized from Newgrounds for audio competition, not competition, collaboration, where everyone got a bunch of people in Newgrounds who do music are kind of writing this lore and created this map, and now they're creating the soundtrack for this fictional Souls-like game. LDW is the lead organizer. I'm helping. Okay, so LDW and Everatic organize this collaboration for creating this Dark Souls OST. I'm just learning about it now. I'm coming out of a hibernation, so it's cool to see a little bit about this and make some connections to real life topography. Topography is the word. Topology is a mathematical thing. I mean, it's very much related to topography, but in a very theoretical sense, I guess. But yeah, it's cool. They have this whole lore that's built into this, and Everatic just explained the lore of this area and the boss who's there, the Canyon Cleaver, and the relationship between these two areas and some things that happen there. Can be campfire songs. I like campfire songs. I remember for here's some concept. I mean, it's not. I think this is for art inspired, so the art came first, and then the music came after. I'm understanding, but yeah, it also shows this character who's cleaving waterways from this very bountiful region to start building the game. Yeah, it's basically essentially that. What's OST? Oh, original soundtrack. So you can think about it like an album for a game. That's basically what it is. And this is a nice exercise for composers to actually collaborate and be part of composing the whole thing. It's kind of interesting too, collaborating, because like bigger games, you have to collaborate. It's not always that you get to be the only composer who produces all the music for the game. So it's very interesting seeing how they coordinate some standards and not ground rules, but general guidelines for how to produce the music for it, so that spatially and the way things are mixed, it feels unified and cohesive. Artwork, a logo, and planning a CD release. Oh, that's super cool. I'll buy some. A soundtrack, not necessarily game dev. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Unless, guys, what if I say screw this engine project? Screw making engines, screw Messy Mansion. Let's just make this game happen, dog. Let's just make this game happen. What if We already have the groundwork for messy. Oh, okay. So the issue was just camera stuff, and the controls are busted. That's so cool. It wasn't busted before, but now it is. I guess I have to re-import assets. Come on, Everadic, let's just do it. It's easy. In and out, in and out, in and out. We make the game. Hey, this camera's jank. Yeah, this is the wall hanging stuff that I decided to replace the wall jumping with. Oh yeah, I really don't like this control. I understand why people were complaining about it. I can see it. Yeah, we're doing a bunch of animation. Get a feel for the vibe here. Are we doing game dev or creating audio, or maybe both? So I'm not. So as far as this stream is concerned, I mean, this stream is kind of all over the place. Everadic and the Newgrounds, all this audio stuff that they're doing, that's them. That's something they're doing. Maybe one day, maybe potentially I can collaborate with it depending on how I'm feeling or how my workload is looking. But yeah, me personally, I'm currently focused much more on the game deving. This is a previous game I worked on or was working on and will finish, and then this is a engine I'm currently writing right now for a separate game entirely, which this started with like debugging stuff, wasn't it? Yeah, so primarily I'm much more game dev focused, but I do music composition and music production too. In fact, that's how I got acquainted with the great and magnanimous Everadic here from Newgrounds Audio Competition. So that was a good time. Good time. But yeah, as of late, I spend more time with my programmer hat. Maybe some audio, some art, pixel art stuff here and there, like this joint. This guy. Decent pixel art here and there. Oh, nice. Game dev wise, is this C++ or what engine you're using? No, so this here is C++, and I'm writing the engine. I'm writing this engine from the ground up. So this is a whole engine dedicated so that the ethos is that I don't want to, if you look at me programming, if you look at my hands down here, you'll see that I never use the mouse to navigate my editor at all, right? I can select things, I can undo, I can select this, delete, undo that, I can paste it, whatever. I can do all these different actions without having to use the mouse. And as a solo developer who does the art, music, and game, or art, music, code, and design, whatever, my time is very limited, and I want to reduce the friction between switching gears, right? So I'm writing this engine so that I can treat it the same way I do coding, where I can navigate the whole engine here by just using my keyboard. I can start placing objects down and design stuff using my keyboard, and everything follows my workflow as I normally do, so that everything is very ergonomic for me. So most game engines are trying to appease the widest majority of people possible, which means it doesn't fit any particular person properly. This engine is meant to fit me. Self-made engine, much respect. Also notice the hand cam, that is awesome. What ID are we using to write this? I'm using CLion. CLion is fantastic. I use JetBrains. I'm a JetBrains kind of guy. I'm a JetBrains type of dude. Alright, I'm very simple. I use JetBrains with Vim Motions. Hey, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Also, sorry if that was a bit loud. But yeah, I use JetBrains. It's or their products. CLion is specifically for C++ and C. If you're gonna do C# for Unity, like in this game, this other game I worked on, or was working on, or will work on, I use Rider for that. Both super duper handy, powerful, great tools. And if sometimes, because sometimes you want to be spicy, you want to feel like a real man. Sometimes I don't use that. Some days I'm like, you know what? We're gonna just do some. I'm gonna go cozy here. We're gonna do and Vim Some days we just raw dog NeoVim. All right, that's some days we just go, you know what? Today I'm gonna be a man. Okay, we're just gonna be in Vim the way Linus Torvalds desired it to be. Probably not, honestly. I don't know what he uses to do his editing. Yeah, some days you just wanna feel a little free. You don't wanna have all this. Let me show you something. Let me show you something that's gonna put things in perspective. You see this? This is Sea Lion. It's currently taking 2 gigabytes of memory. 2 gigabytes of memory. And that's pretty light work. That's not that bad, honestly. The writer backend is taking 1.4 gigs. Sometimes it spikes up even more than that. So it feels nice sometimes to just say, you know what, we're not going to have all the fancy stuff. We're not going to have debugging. We're not going to have IntelliSense or syntax. We're just going to do it right. We're just going to write it right. And if it compiles, it compiles. If it doesn't compile, that's a skill issue. And now you just got to get good. Cables, cords, controllers all over the desk is a real business. I appreciate you not making it all tidy for the stream. Oh no, this is how it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. You can see the anvil there too. Yeah, I mean, this is you get to see how life is, man. Life ain't pretty, but you know what? That's how you know things are getting done. When things look pretty, nothing's getting done. All right, you're spending most of your time cleaning and making things pretty. When things are messy and kind of all over the place and kind of crazy, then you know stuff is being done. You know people are living there. I had a neighbor who, like, the upstairs was super clean and she wanted to keep it perfectly clean. She was super obsessed about it. And she had a family, like she had the kids and everything, and they would have to go downstairs, and that was their actual room where they did stuff. So when you walk in, the first floor felt like this museum, and it felt weird. And I realized it felt weird because it wasn't lived in. Meanwhile, 3 Chrome tabs takes 3 gigabytes. Yeah. See, that's why we don't use Chrome. We use Firefox. Or, I'm not sure if you use Vim. I love Vim. If you may not know. It's like even my browser has like this thing where I can just navigate purely just using the same kind of commands here. But if you want to strip things down, there's something called Qt Browser. In fact, I'm not sure why I'm not using it. Where is it? That is like super Vim. Yeah, here we go, Jay. Where can I download it? I installed it in my other one. But if you really want to have a stripped down web experience, just install Qt Browser. That's all you need. That's all a man needs. Qt Browser. I forget. It's not Qt. It's Qt Browser. My bad. It's abbreviated to Qt. Yeah, look at this, John. It's all you look at. That's the tabs. Look at that. This is how the internet was supposed to be. Anyways, before I go on a tangent, but yeah, that's the tools I use. That's the tools I use. Out of curiosity, I wonder what kind of, like, what do you do? Do you do like game deving? I'm assuming as well. What kind of language you working with? Oh yeah, super jank stuff here. All right, this kind of started from like, I want to learn Vim, but sadly I'm Visual Studio C++ poverty user. Using a mouse all the time. Oh no! I mean, it starts there. It starts there. Okay. When I started working here, when I first got my big boy job, the first year I was using Visual Studio. I wasn't using Vim. I didn't know what a Vim was. Okay. I was a little nematode. It's okay. It happens to all of us. But things started happening. One day I got Rider, and I was like, oh, this is pretty nice. I can actually, have better debugging and warnings, and it's telling me things. Oh, that's pretty cool. And then I realized, oh, maybe this happened. There's a plugin you can get both for Visual Studio and Rider that allows you to have Vim motions. This is not out the box. When you download Rider, you don't get this out the box. It's a plugin. It's called Idea Vim. I'm pretty sure Visual Studio has it too. Visual Studio Code knows, I know, has it as well. But I will warn you though, this is a perilous path you take, because once you start learning to use this and you break your brain in that particular way and you learn how to use and think in this way of modes and commands and all this stuff, when you go back to Notepad, you're gonna be angry because you don't have the things you normally use. When you go to like Google Docs, when you go here, you're gonna be mad that you can't do Control C and move down. I'm trying to move, it's not letting me move. It's gonna be like, writing text in any other application is gonna be ruined for you. So you just have to accept that, all right? And you can find workarounds for it. I know there's extensions for this for Docs, but you have to pay for it, and I refuse to pay for it. So we just write things. We just don't use Google Docs. We just use we just use Vim. We use Vim and Markdown, and that's how we live our life. And people at work just have to deal with it. But yeah, you just have to make that that calculus, you know? You're gonna go the path not trodden. The world is gonna be over here with their stupid little mouses and inefficient workflows and wasting 30 years of their life in aggregate doing dumb motions. It's okay. Hey, Safari, thanks for the raid. That's exactly what I'm afraid for. Vim is like a brain shift that will ruin me. But it's fantastic. It's great. It's great. I think it's worth it. What's up, Safari? Good evening. Good evening. It's good to see you. Hello, Safari. It's been quite a while. What time is it? It's 1:13 a.m. Whatever. I slept. I don't gotta go to work. It's good. It's going great. It's going good. It was nice seeing you again. Yeah, it's good seeing you too, Avratic. You have a good one. It's nice seeing you. I appreciate you popping in. It's nice catching up with you. And I'll keep my eyes out for that music OST thing. It's currently 2:13 a.m. in Quebec. I suffer. Well, it's currently 1:13 a.m. over here. It's okay though. I slept. I'm working from home today. Okay. I should be able to adult later on, if things permit. It's okay. If not, I just work late, and that's fine. That's what we do. Look, it's every hour is programming hour. Safari, some news for you. Some news. As you see, I've switched to Linux. I haven't done Arch. I'm kind of a fraud. I'm using Ubuntu, not Arch. But hey, it's still Linux, and what I'm working on is the new engine I rewrote in C++ in 3 weeks. This joint, custom engine, C++. I wrote an engine in Rust before, and like I did what took me 2 years of Rust to do, took me like 3 weeks in C++. It's like, I'm not gonna lie, guys. The government's telling you to use Rust. Ubuntu and Linux people are saying, oh, you gotta use Rust, we have to use it in the kernel, we have to rewrite core utils in Rust. I'm here to tell you that's a load of jabroni, alright? That's a load of barnacles, okay? C++ is fantastic. Do you know, now understand why I do C++ and why I hate Rust? Yeah, I 100% understand why you do it. I hate Rust too. I'm a certified, I was a Rust. Here's the main feature of Rust, okay? The main feature of Rust is that you get to tell people, hey, I know Rust, by the way. I know Rust. By the way, I wrote stuff in Rust. I'm kind of better than you. Did you know that? I'm better than you because I don't have to manage memory. I don't know what goes on at all with memory allocation. That scares me. I just trust the biochecker, okay? But I learned how to work with it, so I'm better than you. That's the main feature of Rust. That's what I told. That was me to my coworkers. I was like, hey, by the way, Rust. And now that I took like 3 weeks of C++, I'm like, oh no, I'm stupid. This is dumb. This is dumb. I gotta get some sleep. Thanks for the Vim inspiration. Keep on going, dude. Love the content. Hey, take care. Upon Tech. You have a good one. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. You have a good one. But yeah, like, dude, I already have way more work. No, here, I did more work than I did in Rust. Like, I didn't have the editor working in Rust at all. Like, trying to do the player loop cycle and everything, like, that was never gonna happen. That was gonna take a couple years until we get to this point here. Yeah, we hate Rust in this house. The one thing I will say though, I'm gonna backtrack some stuff. Okay, we're gonna backtrack a little bit. The build system is nice. I like the build system. It's very nice. It's very, very easy. Okay, we don't have to worry about linking. I don't have to worry about dependencies and stuff like that. I don't have to write no header files. By the way, zero header files in this engine. We're doing a Unity build. Again, not Unity engine. We're doing like C++ Unity build. But still, like, there's still weird jank that emerges from it. So okay, I'll give that to Rust. The building is easy. I can cargo add whatever. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about what a CMake is. I'll give them that. But you know what I can't give them? The fact that you can have static. You can have a static thing and it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Okay, we're gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. We've activated a sensitive topic for me, okay? We've activated a little bit of a sensitive topic for me. And you know what? I'm probably not gonna... There's gonna be some things from C++ I'm probably gonna end up not liking once we start getting to compiling to a bunch of other platforms, like doing Emscripten. That's gonna be fun. You guys know about Emscripten? This modern miracle of engineering that's also kind of terrifying and kind of gross, but still cannot be really replaced. Oh yeah, Emscripten. Yeah, you already know. Emscripten. It's fine. Either way, I'd rather deal with that. Like, dealing with that is still gonna be faster than working in Rust. But yeah, oh yeah, fun fact though, there is that huge controversy because, like, it's amazing. I think I learned Rust just to become a Rust hater. I think that's what's happened to me, is I learned Rust to be a Rust hater. Because for Linux, they're doing a whole, I think for Ubuntu at least specifically, they're like spearheading this. They're doing a whole rewrite of like the core utils in Rust. Which, if you don't know, core utils is like, you know, the most fundamental stuff like sudo. You know, just little important things like that, which is basically run as admin or ls or whatever, like basic fundamental commands that, you know, have been working fine for like over a decade or multiple decades. Yeah, sudo rs. So here's the thing, right? We have this implementation of all these core utilities that have been battle tested across releases, works perfectly fine for people. It just does the thing it's supposed to do, right? We've made it hardened. It works great. And then Linux, Ubuntu announced that in October, they're going to be swapping it out for their Rust implementation, which, by the way, isn't at 1.0 version yet. It's not even fully done yet. They're swapping this out, this battle-tested thing, for this experimental Rust implementation. For what? Security? Oh, that's great. Yeah, we're going to... Security with untested code. That's super secure. Now here's the thing. Here's the PSYOP. Here's the corporate espionage, right? Windows 10 end of support. They announced that they're gonna do this in October. The core utils Rust rewrite. They're gonna make it the main thing that's in Linux and in Ubuntu in October. But what's also happening in October is Windows 10 support ends. So I'm not saying that there's a Microsoft corporate spy that's interloping in this. But I will say it's kind of funny, the timing of everything. I will say it's very funny. You say your language is safe doesn't mean it is. CVS, yeah, it's still a thing that exists. Yeah, and here's the thing, right? Like, there's the fact that unsafe is not like a tested thing. Like, you can just mark a function as unsafe, and then Rust goes, okay, whatever, I trust you. But if you wrap it in like a same function, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna assume everything here is safe. So like that's what I was doing. I ended up writing everything to be unsafe because I wanted to make things super cache coherent and do things in that kind of way. So I ended up writing everything in unsafe. But like if you have a function that wraps it, Rust doesn't know that something's unsafe. It just goes, oh, I trust your word. You said this is safe, so whatever you're doing in there, just let it be. Let it be. Send it. Just send it. Like, wow, this is security. This is security. This is what safety feels like. This is what safety feels like. I love that CBR SKU case. Blazingly fast memory vulnerabilities written in 100% safe Rust. Yep. That'd be honest. That'd be very honest. In fact, no, I can't copy in my... Fantastic. Fantastic. I love Rust. I love modern... So guys, you know, I'm starting to think Ubuntu or just Linux in general is a little too mainstream. So I think we should let's switch to OpenBSD or FreeBSD, guys. You guys wanna? Let's do a little swapperino. Let's go to OpenBSD or FreeBSD, guys. I think this is getting a little too normie. The corporate espionage has gotten into here. Oh, PS4? The PS4 operating system? Or at least it's based off of it. Which kind of blew my mind. I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. Unless you have something else in mind. I'm gonna say the PS5, but yeah. That blows my mind that Sony is using this to run their OS. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, I'm already swapping between the operating systems. Why not? What's another operating system? Am I right? Am I right? What's yet another operating system to switch to? Come on, guys. We'll get true freedom. We're gonna get true freedom bit by bit. Little by little, we're gonna get closer and closer to true freedom. From Microsoft and Apple and everything. This means BSD has more games than Mac OS. Legitimately. Not only more games, but even super high quality games, exclusive games. Mac is just asking for can you also support us, please? Whereas the Chad Open or FreeBSD is like, nah, we have exclusives. You're never gonna have what we have. You're not like us. We're built different. We're prosperous. You're broke. Yeah, Linux, Mac OS could never. Mac OS could never. Mac OS could never do that. So yeah, we don't stand. Honestly, I'm not even super C++. I'm kind of treating C++ like C, honestly. You know, avoiding no templating, no inheritance, no classes, 0 classes. I mean, structs is basically the same as classes, but none of that class features. Maybe I use private public accessors here and there, but maybe I might just get rid of them. Who knows? Maybe I should just get rid of all member functions. Just have everything be purely static functions. Pure functions. The only thing I probably use is just name spacing. That's it. That's the one thing that prevented me from using C over C++. Brother, like who needs interfaces when you can just have a void pointer? Just void pointer, just do raw dog casting, alright? I know what this is supposed to be pointing to. That's all that matters. As long as me and the compiler consent, who cares about clean code. Who cares about making things, self-documenting code? Look, dog, just use void pointers. It's easy. Life's good. Life's good. Life is too short to be operating on the Gang of 3 or Gang of 4 bugs. Oh, man. You know, honestly, like, why even use enums? Just make consts. Just do const expressions. How funny. You know, a funny thing you can do in C++, by the way, need to deserialize the structs from a binary file. Memcopy the struct's pointer as a void pointer for the length equal to the struct size. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You love to see it. You love to see it. You love to see it. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. I kind of want to try doing that now. Though I wonder... I mean, I guess you don't have to worry about Indianness, right? That'd be the one thing I think I would think about. But I don't think that's a concern for most operating systems anymore, right? Because they technically support both, but usually default to Little Indian. That's how I load Quake maps in my engine, by the way. Oh, that's sick. That's super sick. That's super sick. That is super, super sick. But also, like, another fun fact. Another fun fact. Why allocate? Why use malloc? Just allocate the humongous buffer, dude. Easy. Yeah, send it to me. I'm down to take a look. It'll be cool to see that in action. And it's amazing the fun you can do with memcopy. What was I doing? I was doing something, right? Do you guys remember what I was doing? I can't remember what I was doing. I was doing something. I know that much. Somewhere here. I was doing something. I know that much. This joint. Why this wasn't loading correctly. That's what I was doing. I was waiting for editor response. Is there any point where I like reset the state here? Wait, so I gotta make the repo public. Oh, gotcha. No, it's all good. Take your time, make the repo public. As I try to understand what dumb thing am I doing here, because I'm probably doing something a little dumb. Probably do something dumb. I can either solve this or work on something else, like character behavior and better collision. We could do that. We can make collision great. We can make good, fantastic collision. The best collision. I want to take a crack at implementing a BV8 structure. So I've had to do stuff for that relatively recently. But I never actually had to implement it myself. So I'm kind of, I'm thinking about doing that for this. At least for static content. Static colliders. Just to start off easy. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. So you highlighted this line. You got a string, model string, util strings, iterative string excerpt, buffer, model offset, size. Data models resize. Okay, here's where you're doing the mem copy. I'm trying to let me fall here. Model string, iterative string excerpt. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know what this is. And then you have buffer data.header.models offsets. So that's like the current index and then the size. So the starting point and then the size of the models. Okay, so I'm assuming you're reading that from the buffer, and that's constructing this string that you have here. Data.models, resize, divided by 64. I don't know why you're doing that. And then you do string copy data.model. I guess this is separate from this, right? Data.model.data, model string.data, and then you have the size of the models. Interesting. It just returns a substring of n characters starting from x. Okay, interesting. Cool. So a substring. Got you. Okay, so that's what it's doing. Substring from this starting index to index plus the size of the data you're doing. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, so just data you have here. Yeah, this mem copy. Models. Oh no, that's okay. Dot data. See, so you're just copying directly from here, from here to there. Okay, and then it resizes the models. It resizes the model's vector to the total size divided by the struct size, and it copies the whole array. The model's vector to the total size. Okay. Oh, size in this case is struct size. So wait. So this is okay, so there's multiple models here, and you're saying 64 is the size of an individual struct? Took down a 7-minute load time for some maps per seconds. Oh yeah, no, it's magic what memcopy does. It's so crazy how so many different things get faster just by memcopy. I was doing a thing somewhat recently with like loading and iterating a process, or like loading texture and model data that are pretty extensive, and I did this. The first implementation was just doing like a for loop iteration to do this stuff, but then when we realized, oh wait, I know what type of data is in here and what we're trying to transform it to, I can just copy the memory in an unsafe utility and just do that stuff. Oh, we could just cast. That's cool. Yep. Each model is 64 bytes long. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, magic number. Yeah, because usually when I'm seeing that kind of stuff, I'm usually expecting size up and then the name of that struct. But if you know the size in bytes, then yeah, okay, that makes sense. So there's a bunch of different models there. Divided to be the size of one, and then okay, yeah. Yeah. This makes sense. That's pretty cool. That's good to know. That's cool to know. Pretty freaking. I love that. Love it. That's pretty sick. Quick slow loading. Yeah, I need to learn this macro stuff. I know we're gonna, once I start dealing with MScript, and I know I'm gonna have to do things to make it work fine on that. We'll burn that bridge when we get there. We will pillage that town once we cross it. We'll save those murders for when the time comes. This is sick though, this is sick. Good to know, good to know. Honestly, I need to learn more C++ stuff. Right now I'm just kind of doing things in my own kind of weird way. I should probably look at more repositories of C++ code or C code to understand like what people normally do. Other cool thing I do in the project is diagonal commenting. I realize the slashes are diagonal, so if I line them, it looks nicer. Diagonal commenting. Is it visible there? Diagonal commenting. Oh, like this? Oh, like this. Yeah, okay, I see it. Yeah. That looks cool. That looks nice. Very organized. I feel like if I tried doing that, Rider or C-Line would fight me on it. It's kind of nice having nice comment. It's very satisfying to have nice, robust comments with like pictures in them. or even just basic diagram. Like I even for something simple like the matrix thing, like for this transform registry thing I have here. Like simple stuff like that. I don't know, there's something about it that just makes it feel more. Loves to fight me on this. Oh yeah, I imagine. Let's try this. Oh, that's fine. I guess if I try doing any kind of incrementing. Yeah, here we go. I have to manually space it out to make that joint happen. Interesting. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, I feel like there's a bunch of places where I could just be using memcopy that I just ignore. A more extreme example? Okay, let's peep it. Let's peep it. I want to do like, not a code review, because I don't think I have the authority or knowledge to really do a code review of people. Oh, that looks sick. This feels like what the Matrix should be. This is what actual code commenting should be. Like, so much code commenting is oriented around hints and marking it so like you can go in your IDE and have a nice formatted hint be displayed to you, and that's cool and that's nice and handy and everything. But there's something about having this cool ASCII format presented as is. I don't know, I feel perplexed. I know Rust has this thing for documentation, or at least Rust Rover has this thing where they use Markdown for the documentation and not like JS Docs or something. So you can do more interesting formatted stuff and it will actually appear as is intended here. But I don't know. I really don't know how many times I hover and to look at the documentation that way. With all the space I have with slashes, I have a Quake logo hidden in there. What, this? That little wedge I was looking at here? Self-expression. Oh my goodness, 100 messages today. Very nice. Yeah, that's sweet. There's a little logo there. I don't want ASCII art to fall out of fashion. You know, like, it's not only ASCII art, it's like self-expression. Like with professional programming, and I'm not saying this is wrong, right? I understand why this is the case, but there's this kind of rule where it's like you shouldn't be able to tell who programmed what part of the code. Everything should look uniformed as if we all typed it up, right? But like if you start applying it to your, like, cool, let's say that's the rules you operate for work, right? But then like in your personal coding, if you start applying that, it kind of limits, you start neglecting potential opportunities to do like something that just feels unique, you know? To explore avenues to make your code feel like your code. Like this is your house, this is your home, this is where you're spending a bunch of time, so why not make it feel cozy, right? This is not a new, like this is, I just came up with this inspired by what you showed me. Because I never would think to do anything that extreme there. Maybe something extensive like this, but that's about it. Usually care very bare bones and minimal. But now that makes me kind of want to be like, hey, what if I try, like if I had full control, which I do, why and how and why would I approach it? What could I do that makes me enjoy and being in this code base more? I don't know, there's something, it's food for thought. I'm particularly yeah, it does kind of look dumb, but it's cool though, it's cool, like, it's pretty sick though. Looks different. It definitely sticks out visually. Like when you're going through humongous code blocks, having documents or comments that like look very distinct is actually genuinely helpful for like orienting yourself across a large file at a glance without having to, you know? Like, it's like a landmark. It's like a landmark. Like, you have this map of just all this stuff that looks kind of similar. But then if you have these huge comments that look very different from the norm, it's like, all right, that's my Mount Rushmore. Now I know where to look. Now I know what to expect. If I know where that dumb thing is. It's right there. It's right next to that big dumb landmark. How could I not? Oh yeah. But yeah, there's a, I don't know, there's a lot of place for exploration. I mean, that's kind of the fun thing for this project for me, is because I get to do code in a very different way, in a very, maybe wrong way in some cases, compared to how I would do it professionally at my job. But it's like, hey, this is my code base, I can do dumb stuff. Or maybe not dumb stuff, but like prioritize things differently. In this case, prioritize like super fixed memory and cache coherency and all that stuff. I still can't figure out this weird issue though. That's what I was looking on. We have this whole temporary data buffer for, not buffer, but temporary data state for levels that you modify, and when you enter play mode, we should use a temporary version, not the original version. But for some reason, we're not actually writing this stuff to the original version. Where is it? Here we go. Where we create, as for playing the game, editor. You create the editor. And reference the levels. And then once it's time to go to game, to play the game, set runtime level data, and then we pass it the values, level, editor state, session. This seems to make, oh! I know what's happening here. No, I don't. Never mind. Just kidding. I'm stupid. I was passing by reference. Never mind. I'm just dumb. Unless I'm not. But I feel like I probably am. I feel like I probably am. Probably Atlas light maps though, because right now my map has 474 textures loaded. It's fine. You pay. We're gonna use. They pay for the whole computer. We're gonna use the whole computer. All right. That's pretty nuts. Yeah, I need to do texture atlasing at some point. I have a bunch of individual small textures, which I guess is fine as far as memory is concerned, but I know it would be better just to have one massive map and have everything composited there. We'll implement that when we get there. Loaded a bigger map. Some just don't load. Oh, interesting. Interesting. That's kind of funky. It's odd that you have like that many 10,000 light maps, but none of them are loading. Interesting. Yeah, atlasing is something cool though. I need to do stuff with that. No, this wouldn't create that issue that I'm foreseeing here. Yeah, and this is, I have no idea what's going on here, because clearly when we edit and modify the level, like it exists in the level state in some capacity, or else it wouldn't. Or does it? Maybe it's not. It's weird that this worked before though. And it's gone here. So this would be like a thing of like, maybe in the session data all the things have been constructed there, but it's actually not added to the level state itself. You ever know how Quake loads light maps, by the way? It's professionally idiotic. I know nothing about Quake. My Quake knowledge is, the only thing I know about Quake is the inverse square function. That's about it. That's the only thing I know about Quake. Aside from the inverse square root. No, nothing. Nothing. The width and height of the light map textures are the bounding box, divided by 16, which with one coordinate missing as determined by the plane. Divided by 16. Okay. With one coordinate missing as determined by the plane. The bounding box of the face. What? Just continue on from there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm following. That took me a second to understand because it makes no damn sense. Why not just store the light maps as a second set of normal textures with a width and height? Store the light maps, second set of normal textures. Okay, yeah. I'm just trying to understand the first part. Like, what you're suggesting makes sense. I'm trying to understand what you're describing here. Light map texture. Also, please don't glitch out on me. OBS. OBS. Oh, my computer's freezing on me. Don't do this to me, computer. Okay, we're good, we're good. We're good, we're good, we're good. I was scared for a second. I was a little scared. Yeah, that's very odd. That's very weird. Though honestly, I can't speak too much about it because I'm not too familiar with light maps and the most of my familiarity is just implementing directional lights and cascading shadow. Like, I'm aware of the implementation for the cascading shadow maps. But when we say light map, I'm not sure specifically what. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the knowledge. Is a texture the width and height of set texture is determined by 2 of the coordinates of the bounding box of the face for which you are extracting the light map data of. Data of the texture itself is naturally a pain to use. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm thinking of a different. I'm thinking of like per. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so the light value is corresponding to the face. Like the face is corresponding. The face has like a UV coordinates on that texture. That will inform the way it's lit. Okay, yeah. Okay. This might be something I have to just do some homework on. Yeah, I think I just need to look at this a bit more on my own time. I need to do homework to understand, to comprehend why what you're describing is bad. This is so weird. This worked previously. Unless this is like in a feedback loop. No, but if you redo a feedback loop, it should be. Yeah, it wouldn't modify this data. Width, I assume width and height were the width and height of the texture the face uses. Okay, yeah, because of course it would be. This wasn't in any way logical to use. Okay. Wait a second. It's the name of the level. Okay, no, we're good. I'm still wrong here. I'm still fine. It's tactically at least. Make sure I'm not confused here. Response. Set runtime level data. Session. Anyway, I now hate Carmack. Okay. Okay, I can get behind that. No, I can't get behind that. I cannot say I hate Carmack. I cannot genuinely say that. But I will say, I'll take your word that he did something dumb. I'll take your word for it. I can't verify, just trust. You know how they say trust but verify? How they say trust but verify? I'm just not going to verify, we're just going to trust. We're going to trust. We're all cool here, right? We're all cool. No one's a narc here, right? Yeah, we all trust, I mean, this shouldn't change anything, but it's gonna change all that stuff. I don't want to deal with that. Is all happen when I move logic into the create function, the static create function, instead of the way I did it before manually. So I'm not sure what I did wrong here. I'm not sure what's the problem. Officer. I don't know what I did wrong, but I did something wrong. Love Carmack, hate the way he solves problems. Tragic. I should really, okay, if I'm doing this whole learning C++ and writing this engine thing, I really need to start getting my hands dirty and looking at other code bases of like prominent games. Even if it's just to understand, hey, maybe I shouldn't do things the way they architected things. I don't know. Maybe one of these days we'll have a journey into like, I don't know. I just don't know what games I like that have the C++ code publicly available or decompiled by the community. I know there's some crazy projects though, like people decompiling or reverse engineering servers and stuff like that. That's a different thing entirely though. I know Mega Man X hasn't been really fully decompiled to my understanding. Mostly because it wasn't even written in C++. I think it was written entirely in assembly, but that's a different thing entirely. But yeah, I really don't, like, you say these things, Safari. And I just have to trust you. I have to just take your word that what you said is law, because I just am not familiar enough with the code to understand how does this man solve his problems. That's professionally stupid is the textures are stored inside of the maps, but they still exist in the files next to the maps. For mappers, sure, but the game is way heavier than it could be. Oh yeah, that is pretty... Okay, I can understand that. That's just duplicate data. That is just duplicate data. Bad, bad, bad. We like to save our memory here. I don't think you're here for this Safari, but I think I mentioned, out of curiosity, this little... I did a comparison between like a Unity project and this. Like I rewrote this little basic character behavior. Like not even the full editor, just the behavior of the character when playing the game. Wrote it in Unity. And then I only added 3 of these blocks, like 1, 2, 3 blocks, and that's it, right? Compiled, built it, and then made a build of this. And, I mean, it's not earth-shattering crazy because, you know, modern machines are not starved for resources. But it's still kind of goofy looking at this, where this rough Unity project... It took occupied 77 megabytes and 0.44% of the CPU, and my thing with the editor built into it is 12%, 0.12% CPU and 16 megabytes. It's not that crazy, but it's just cool to see the difference and actually understand what the overhead of Unity looks like. And I did some cache performance stuff too with perf, but this is not really gonna be... There's not really that much insight here until you start having way more complexity and things going on that actually, you know, bust cache or blows it. But pretty fun to look at it. Something else, the bloated textures. Yeah, that's why I started this. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how oh no, that's different. What you're describing is just kind of dumb because it's double. You're paying the price of having that twice for not much real gain, and honestly just extra confusion. Yeah. How does having the texture be built into the map? Call Unity nullity, portmanteau of null, meaning of which that sucks. Yeah, and Unity. Yeah, that's beautiful. And true. No one at my job loves Unity. We all professionally hate it. Different for different reasons and whatnot, but it just, no matter what, how you slice it, it's just a pain. I mean, just the whole issue of hey, if you have a tool meant for everyone, you end up pleasing no one, right? I mean, it was great for learning stuff and getting me started on this, but believe in yourself. I just don't understand state. What's going on here? Alright, we're gonna do something. We're gonna yoink this. Go into run. And then we're gonna do something here. I doubt this is the issue, but I'd rather cover bases. Go to editor. Oh no, go to player. Go to game. Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. Is that it's not an inside joke between a group of friends. Every French dev I encountered call it nullity. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's everyone coming together. I love cross countries and boundaries. Everyone agrees. Unity sucks. Unity sucks. like for different reasons. It's like different cross sections from like the actual product itself to like the policies of the company and the trust and relationships they have with people and the way they conduct themselves and then just like general user experience for like the admin level stuff. It just sucks across the board. No one feels happy or safe with it, right? Do I not provide that? Did I already set this? Current level file. Yeah, I do. Sweet. It's amazing. Like sometimes in life you just need a good villain. I know I've been offline for these couple weeks, but the one thing I have been watching has been the Pirate Software drama, which has been kind of hilarious. But yeah, it just makes you realize that sometimes you just need a good villain. You just need a good villain to unite people, to bring people together. You know, sometimes you just need that good villain, and you know, he's kind of like that. Yeah. Like the analogy that I think about is like, I don't know. We're not gonna get, there's like so much we could talk about. We can trash so much about Unity. We're not gonna say anything new. I know one of the final nails in the coffin for me from like not wanting to use it in the future was the whole, I forgot what company, the Kittysoft company, where they're falsely accused of not paying or paying for their employees to use the software, but then it was a false flag from AI. Why call yourself Pirate Software if you don't want people to pirate software? Yeah, it's pretty goofy. It's pretty goofy. Like, it's kind of insane how, like, Pirate Software highlighted how we don't verify, we just trust. And, like, I was like, oh, this guy's an expert. He knows stuff, so I'm not going to look at his... I really didn't consume much of his content. But I was like, he's probably knowledgeable. He knows stuff, probably. But then once he started going into, like, the code, his code, like, the code in his games, I was like, oh my goodness, that's insane. And this is... Really? What? Oh my goodness. The company behind KSP is that? Yeah, I think that might be what I'm describing. I think I'll find it. KSP. No, not Kerbal Space Program. No, not Unity. False flag. Yeah, it's a different thing. Or is it KSP? Let me search it up. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is Kerbal Space Program. Unity. False. Accu. Unity Engine. No, this is old stuff. There's a specific channel, I can't remember. What was that? I'm not gonna go back there. Yeah, but you get the idea. Pretty dumb stuff. Yeah, that's like, I don't wanna, cause like Messy Mansion sucks. Oh no, I mean, what sucks about Messy Mansion is that now that game has me permanently linked with Unity. I'm coupled with them. I can't ever really abandon them unless I abandon Messy Mansion entirely, right? Or rewrite it from the ground up, which I don't really want to do that for a 3D application. But or maybe I should. I don't know. But either way, like, the thing that sucks is I'm tied to them. Whereas like with this, I feel I'm like absolutely free. There's nothing that can be done. I know the team moved to another engine because they got effed up with Unity's. Yeah. But I think there's one project where they're just stuck with Unity because they're just so far into it, or they're already published with it. So in perpetuity, they have to keep up with it, right? They're tied on that, which sucks, you know. And that's the thing with any engine, like, or at least there's like two tiers. There's the commercial engine, the issues of commercial engines, and there's the issue with just general purpose engines, right? Commercial engines have the issue of like, hey, companies can change and the relationship with you can change, and they can change terms, and they can do all this dumb stuff, right? Like we saw with the whole Unity drama. And then like Discord is, what's going on in Discord? But then there's also the issue with general purpose engines where it's like, sure, maybe you're open source and I can fork things if I'm not happy with things and whatever. But you are not designed to fit me and what I want to do, right? You are not made for me. So some of the pain points that emerge from Unity that isn't purely just management or relationship stuff is still going to emerge. So like really, like if you want to have a good experience, you kind of have to just do your own thing, man. You just kind of have to, and it's an art that feels like it's been diminished. Kitten Space Agency is the game. Oh, okay, Kitten Space Agency. Okay, got you. Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, that's like, you know, I think there's more people who are inclined. Excuse me. What's going on here? Mouse. Why are you failing me? You see this? Like it's stuck grabbing stuff. Like why are we stuck grabbing? Let go. What's going on? Why is technology fighting me? And now my mouse isn't responding. Is it these? They're trying to stop me from talking. Clearly has life. Is it dead? Is that what's going on here? Okay, guys, we're gonna have to go full no mouse because this is not working. So we're gonna just commit. We're just gonna hard commit to this no mouse situation we got going on here. Let's see how far we can go with this. That and the fact that booleans and our floats in GameMaker gives me real grim impression for the current state of game industry. Yeah. Like it's kind of crazy how okay, so like GameMaker is like, all right, you're meant to be a beginner thing to get non-programmers. Oh no, you're talking about for the Pirate Software thing? The fact that he was using booleans, or he was using floats for booleans, yeah, that's pretty insane. That he was using ints or floats for boolean comparisons. Pretty freaking wild. That's insane. That's kind of crazy. But no, you're talking. Oh no, how booleans are backed in GameMaker. Yeah, that's a separate thing. Like, okay, that's dumb. But like GameMaker as a tool is not meant to be ultra performant. It's not meant to do all this other stuff. It's wrong. They shouldn't do that. But like, whatever. You can do the whole cost benefit analysis crap on there. But what I actually fear is that like these engines kind of cultivate a sense of learned helplessness. Where like you start using these tools and you don't know better. You just accept, oh, this is how things are. And this is the norm and we're going to just accept it and this is fine. It's acceptable to have this stuff. And the more you're in this ecosystem, like GameMaker is actually really a great example of this because like GameMaker is meant to be this one black box that has the image editor built into it, that has its IDE built into it, that has all this file navigation stuff built into it.
everything in GameMaker is meant to separate you from the actual things that are going on in the game, like on your system, right? Separate you from the actual files you're working with, separate you from the actual code you're doing, right? Like you're so separated from things that you start having this learned helplessness where it's like it feels so much harder to have to use a separate tool like an IDE because you just don't know what these things are and how you work with them and how they interop and stuff like that. And like, I know for me, so much of my, on the one hand, GameMaker is great early on in my career, or not career, my journey, because it made me start to do stuff and I started programming problems that I still deal with today. On the other hand, though, it significantly delayed my progress of like working with real tools because, you know, I get boxed into this environment and I feel too scared to get out of it. And I don't want to, this feels scary going into this. What's Visual Studio? What is this? I don't know what that is. Like, that scares me. And sure, I eventually got out of it due to circumstances, but I could have very well stayed stuck in that and be in this helpless scenario. And I think it's like you're saying, it's intended. These engines intend for that to happen. Unity kind of has it, but you know, it's still very much kind of touches. You're still kind of touching real file assets. But it has, you start seeing more of that inklings happen, you know, and Unreal has that as well. And then it becomes acceptable, like, yeah, it totally makes sense that my game has all this crazy overhead for, like, a simple pixel game. Like, that's totally acceptable. Like, who cares? Computers are strong and hefty, and they can deal with that. And, you know, why get the most mileage out of it, right? Who cares about battery life on a mobile application? Like, who cares about that, right? But yeah, learned helplessness is kind of insane. It's, yeah, fearful. Very fearful. Very... I don't know. We'll see what happens. On the other hand, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm in a bubble of, like, coders who do weird and interesting stuff like this and actually make their own tools. So for me, I feel like I see a counter resurgence of people actually wanting to do code and make games the hard but right way. Not even that hard, honestly. But I don't know, maybe the majority just doesn't care about that. Maybe it's just going to be the epitome of, like, in-shitification or learned helplessness. Is killing the game industry because developers will rather stay stuck in their toolkit because modern engines thrive in the false idea that you need a big engine if you ever wish to ship your game, even though it's out for release Doom without an engine in about a year. Yeah, like... And like the whole build process feels like this whole mythical, magical thing that you need this crazy engine to do. But then like you look at the tools they use, and it's like, no, it's not that crazy. These engines aren't using things they wrote. If you built to WebGL from Unity, what are they using? They're using Emscripten. That's a separate thing somebody else used, like created, right? Like all these different build tool chains aren't things these engines wrote. Sure, they made it a bit easier. They tied it to a UI button and they take care of some stuff, but it's accessible out there, and like you can just do, like, follow a guide and you'll be able to do it, right? And deal with it. It's not that crazy. It really isn't. It's always basically a mono wrapper with extra stuff. Yeah, honestly, like it's crazy that these engines take credit for all this functionality that they didn't write. They're just wrappers. They're the equivalent of like these AI startups that are basically just writing front-end wrappers for ChatGPT. Like, the really impressive stuff isn't done by you guys. It's done by other things. You're just the guy connecting people to that. And once you realize that, these engines feel less mythical and magical and crazy. Maybe, like, I would give Unreal a pass, right? Because, okay, there's actually some interesting, unique technology going on there. Fine, whatever, right? But then how many games are actually utilizing that stuff? Like, how many games are actually benefiting from that? Like, from that architectural cost that they pay, how many games are actually utilizing it? Probably not much. Like, and like, it's kind of this issue of like dynamically linked libraries. Right, the whole idea of dynamically linked libraries is that, hey, it would be stupid to copy and paste the same code that's going to be used all over your system. Why not just have one centralized place and we could dynamically link your program to that so there's only one copy of that code on your system at any given time, right? But then you have engines with the same code being copy and pasted over and over again for every single project that's there. Like, yeah, yes, there's engine version differences, whatever, right? But like, you're still, the fact that there's still a significant amount of code that's just copy and pasted per install of that game. Like, I would love to see how many, like, if you download a bunch of Unreal games or Unity games, how much of the code is actually the same. And not that code takes up that much space, but it's just that it just kind of illustrates the point that there's all this extra, like, you're just having all this extra stuff bundled. Maybe it's a separate conversation, but it's still, it just feels super dumb to me, right? Like, if you're gonna have that cost of having this unique application, why not just have the things you want and need? This is like the first time in the engine I've been stuck with something. Okay, let's go to the player. Let's do something else real quick. Let's work on something so we can have something to show off. Let's do a basic collision thing. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, before we do our new position stuff. But yeah, it kind of boggles my mind. Like, this, like, what's kind of crazy is that I've spent a significant portion of my life in that same kind of thing of like, oh, this is fine, whatever. And only now am I seeing, no, this kind of really sucks. And I'm kind of surprised. In fact, what I'm surprised by is, like, I felt these pains of and friction from working with this stuff, but I just didn't realize that's what I was going through. I just thought this is normal, this is fine, this is what's intended, this is just how it is to work with these professional tools. And then it's like, no, actually, these are compromises that are made, and you're the one paying the piper for it. Yeah, it's pretty nutty. And then we can do the vertical and horizontal sliding. Kind of garbage control flow, but whatever. Whatever. Else. Modern engines actually innovate with their scripting functionalities. Maybe UE4 for visual scripting, Ravensoft's branches for ID Tech 1 or id Tech 1 are way more innovative than anything Unity brought up to the table, that's for sure. Yeah, well, Unity's also on this thing where it's like, hey, we're going to provide basic functionality, but it's up to you to do the rest. Like, we're going to afford you these basic bag of bolts, and you can architect whatever solution you want on top of that. And on the one hand, it's like, all right, cool. At least we're not forced into this. We're not forced into this paradigm you defined for us. We can do things however we want to, largely. But on the other hand, there is the issue of like, there is the thing of like, I don't know how I'm gonna go about this. We'll just try this out. There's the issue that, like, unlike like Unreal is the engine that's actually developed in tandem with an actual games, right? So yeah, still happens. It doesn't let me keep going though. But yeah, it's an engine that's developed alongside games, so they start developing. They add actual features pertinent to specific games. But yeah, you don't really see. Well, here's the thing, right? Like, I feel like the better tooling and innovations you have are tied to whatever specific problem domain you're facing, right? Like, if you're facing a specific problem domain, then you're not going to have a general solution is not going to solve that in an innovative fashion. You need something that's specific, finely tuned for that specific thing for it to truly excel. Which is why, like, Unreal, you can be like, all right, there's actually some cool stuff, because a lot of the things they're introducing unique and cool features that are designed for specific problem domains, which makes sense. And then you have Godot, who's also trying to do some stuff like that in a more general sense, but you know, I don't really like. But Unity is just kind of content being what it is, you know. It's content at being a mediocre tool for most cases. Oh, what was that? That's weird. Yeah, we have to have self-exclusion for this. That's a thing. Yeah, I need to think what I'm gonna do with this. Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's a whole thing, man. It's a whole thing. Solution type, entity type. That is not type. That's not part of it, is it? There's a dependency on that. Yeah, it's just disappointing, man. Like, there's a time when there's like so much cool technological advancements in games, and you're super optimistic for what people are going to do next and all that kind of stuff. And partly it's gone just due to a natural current, which is that we're hitting a limit, which, sure, whatever. But are we really? I don't know. I just think about that, there's a video of this guy talking about how rendering was better back in the day. Like 10 years ago, we had better lighting and rendering than currently. Which is pretty gnarly to think about. Like, they're comparing stuff in the Fox engine and how crazy the stuff it was doing compared to like modern AAA games nowadays. And it's just not great. And it's like, there's issues that are solved. Like, there's solutions to it. They know what to do to fix it. And even now, there's better hardware as well. So like, there's no excuse for why things are worse here. So, but yeah, pretty crazy to think about that. That like, it's just worse. Rendering has taken a massive hit over the past years. Ever since the beginner's guide, outdated. 2004 engine, by the way. Over the past years. Ever seen the beginner's guide? By the way, heart. Oh, do you love the beginner's guide? I enjoy it. I love that game. Narratively, creatively. Yeah, I need to find the video. I need to find it. Like, you know, like in Lord of the Rings, how when you actually follow the story, you're actually following the, like, it's not high fantasy. It's Lord of the, well, like, the story in general is, but the setting of it is actually when things are bad. Like, we're in a dark age of sorts, you know, things are falling apart, things are getting worse, things are decaying and rotting, and like that's what it kind of feels like, man. Like, it feels like a lot of stuff is just falling into decay or getting worse, like, across the board with software, and it sucks because, like, we are living the dream people had before. Like, if you look at the specs of our computers, it's insane. From the size, memory, how cheap it was. I remember how crazy it was for someone to be able to buy an SSD with like 500 gigs of RAM. Not a terabyte, just 500. Like, an SSD with 500 gigs was crazy. Was crazy. And chapter 2 and the house cleaning game, those should be gold standards in rendering. Yeah, I love the cleaning game. That was chef's kiss. Beautiful. Very, very comforting. Very comforting. Yeah, it's insane. It's where's my game entities? I'm going crazy here looking for this stuff. I know I have like a file here that outlines this stuff. Level state. Nope. Sprite object, session data. Oh, there we go, game entities. And is that before or after colliders? Yeah, just player and tiles. Epilogue 2 gold standard in rendering, yeah. Well, it's cool in the epilogue because you can see when it switched, like especially the maze. You can see where it goes, transitions from like the 3D model to like the bitmap. Oh wow, in your head. Interesting how we have different file names for things in our heads. But yeah, it's pretty. Do I have Steam? Let's go to it. Let's actually go to it. Let's see if the beginner's guide works fine on Steam. It's 229 right now. I've given up on doing actual work today. We're just not gonna happen. Today's a chatty day. Today's a we talk a bunch day. Today's the why do you always say I'm online, Steam? I don't want that. I want to be logged out by default. Can we just do that? Can we just be signed out permanently? Just don't do that. I don't want to be monitored by the Chinese government. I don't want that. Where's the beginner's guide? Let's see if it works fine on us. Turns out it's the one right after. Yeah, it's right after it. Yeah, I remember because it's like the point of relief because the prison chapter was like a whole point of tension narratively, and then the house cleaning thing was a nice reprieve from that. While that loads, let me see if I can find that video. Rendering used to be better. Game lighting, engine lighting. was better 10 years ago. Yeah, no, Threat Interactive. Is that the one I'm thinking of? I think so. Dynamic lighting. Blur smear. I think it's this channel though, for sure. I'm not sure if that's a video where he talks about, I know he specifically talks about the... It's everything you're talking. What killed optimization? Yeah, there's a specific one with the Phantom Pain. I think maybe it was this. Or maybe this one. But yeah, it's the same sentiment though. It's the same sentiment.
For cloud shading, only half the frame surface area. For my layman viewers, there's a massive FPS difference when clouds are disabled inside the overhyped, under-criticized, and supposedly faster Unreal 5.5. This basic effect is now running over 800% slower than it was in Unreal Engine 5.4. And it still relies on temporal smear abuse to hide jittering. This isn't some, oh, it's just going to be patched out scenario. I told Epic Games during the preview phase of 5.5 about this issue so that they could fix it before they release the production-ready version of 5.5. No one is talking about issues like this. And if I can show you something this broken in 30 seconds, imagine what I'll show you in the rest of this video. In this video, I'm going to set some new standards for both gamers and
yeah, I think this is the video.
developers.
This was the video. I love this guy. If you haven't watched this, watch this video on your own time. I don't want to. I could just watch it though. I mean, TM2 Valley tells me that photorealism was possible on potato hardware in 2013. So why ain't we got it in modern expensive pieces of crap we call RTX cards? Yeah, why? Like, look at this. Gamers, the gamers are spending thousands of dollars, grands, multiple grands on crazy fancy hardware, 16 gigabyte VRAM, all this fun stuff, all these teraflops, right? And what are we getting for it? Like, what are we getting for it? What is the... Like, you tell me, like, what are we getting from this? Are we out, like...
on what 9th generation hardware can and should be delivering. First, I'll break down a logical approach to...
And here's another thing that died, right? Before, with proprietary engines, whatever, right? You know, and when you're developing for consoles, you know specifically what you're targeting. So you can do optimization specifically for consoles. So I remember this guy who was talking about how, like, to better utilize the PS3, for example, they would actually write and process all the assets into these specific chips on memory in the PS3 that's only for them, and they would so it would require them to process. My bad. It would require them to process their assets fundamentally different than they do in other places, right? But that made the most sense for the PS3 and to get them to juice it, right? But like in the modern gen, when you're using an engine, you go, I don't care what engine or what platform I'm targeting. We're not going to care about doing any specific optimizations for that. That's Unreal's job to do that. That's Unreal's job and responsibility to optimize for this particular hardware. I'm not going to care about it. I'm going to just keep doing things the way I normally do. And then, like, do you really trust them to do that per platform optimization? Do you really trust them to do that? Do you trust them to do it effectively? Like, I don't think so. There's also something I told someone and would like to have as my epitaph. It's not the tool that matters. It's how much you know it. Photorealism is easier to achieve in the Doom engine than any version of Unreal Engine 5 if you have no clue what you're doing with it. Well, yeah, of course, knowledge is part of it, right? But if you, like, that same argument can be used to be, like, used to be like, hey, yeah, why should I ever change tools or do anything specific for that, right? When all that matters is tool knowledge. Like they can use that. They can use that justification for like, you know, game Maker. You could use that justification, right? There's people who have crazy knowledge of Game Maker and who are able to create 3D impressive 3D model and rendering and stuff like that in Game Maker. And they can use the same argument. Hey, that's it's not about the tool. It's about the thing. It's about the knowledge of it. And yeah, it's cool. You can probably do really impressive stuff with it with that knowledge. But there's also this fact that hey, we're people on this earth. Our time is finite, and sometimes there's tools that are meant to do certain jobs better. Right? Doesn't mean that the tools is all of it, but you know, there is a marginal cost and benefit to things. And there's an opportunity cost for using one tool versus another tool. I just think that, you know, we're accustomed to just using inferior tools. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know. I don't have that much knowledge. I haven't implemented this much stuff. So, like, on what authority do I have to say this?
To maximize
Beyond
the
like user experience stuff for myself.
Modern consoles. Then we'll explore the declining quality in indirect lighting solutions and disprove the ridiculous arguments made in defense of the performance and quality.
It's kind of crazy how anti-aliasing is just not a thing. Like, it is a thing, but it's not as good as it used to be.
Quality regression seen in modern titles. Before diving into the technical breakdowns, it's very important to clarify the scenario that drives the studio's technological focus. We are developing a fast-paced, realistic third-person action title. The gameplay alternates between outdoor and indoor environments, with roughly 75% of the scene composed of static objects. The remaining 25% consists of dynamic elements including characters, breakable objects, vehicles, moving light occluders, such as doors and windows, and finally, moving and toggleable light sources. It's very important for viewers to know...
Unrelated, I do want to start working on my... There's things I want to work on. I want to start implementing that BVH structure for static, all the static collision stuff in the game, and then I want to start actually implementing the rendering pipeline. Because what I have here is not just, that's not it. I don't want to have just a 2D game. I actually want to start implementing some of the cool Messy Mansion lighting I have in this game and make it like a first-class feature. So we're gonna add like lighting to this as well at some point. I think it might just take some time to work with that because that's significantly fun to work with than just simple editor tools.
But that the conditions mirror the scenarios found in hundreds of games, including many produced on 9th Gen.
They suck now. They didn't used to though. That's the thing. Anti-aliasing didn't used to suck.
Eventually produce can benefit hundreds of third-party productions in terms of quality and performance. The target hardware for this studio, and what the industry should prioritize as well, is going to be the PS5 and Series X consoles because of their well-established enhancements over their base-gen and mid-gen predecessors. The plan we promote today accounts for the limitations between these machines, such as the lower theoretical teraflop power of the base PS5 and the Series X 2x slower SSD speed. This allows for extra benefits when performance and image quality goals have been met universally between the two.
What is this guy's background? I'm kind of curious. Well, clearly he's working for a studio, or he's the founder of the studio. I don't know. YouTube channel of the new indie game studio, Threat Interactive. Okay, so it's a new indie game studio. I want to see about their games. I'm kind of curious about this guy's background because he seems very knowledgeable. It would be just cool to see what some of the stuff he's done. I've learned my lesson from Pirate Software. Mr. Magic Man, you can talk very authoritative. You can say things with great confidence. But let's see the things you do. I'm not saying I don't trust you. I just like to verify. I'm just curious. I just want to know more about this guy. Support and funding. Yeah, it'll be cool to know what I'm supporting. Like even some concept art. Yeah, I refuse to log on to. Okay, so more
More talking about how Unreal's actually has issues.
Hey, I love the guy's talking points. None. Apparently, he's been having some drama on Twitter for being a fraud. But again, right now, both Pirate Software and Mutahara are under security scrutiny. So, yeah, Mutahara heard about that too, where he talked about having like he faked about being an engineer. I didn't even know he introduced himself as being an engineer. Dang it, Safari, why are all these people with no actual credentials or knowledge or experience getting all the authority to speak on these things? And it's us, the dudes who actually sit down and code for most of their days. Where's our legion? Nah, I wouldn't want that though. That sounds terrible. Pirates case, nepotism. I'm not sure. Like, nepotism for the Blizzard thing, sure. And the Blizzard thing is a nice hook to get people in because it establishes ethos. But I'm not sure ethos alone would be enough to get him to that position, if I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if I'm honest with you, ethos alone doesn't do that. Ethos doesn't get him to pop off. Even if you factor in the paying for mods to boost the train, like that only stokes an already existing fires. I don't know, man. Mutahara's case is odd because it's just like you could have just kept your mouth shut, dude. It's fine. You don't have to be a technical guy. You know, like Ross Scott from Freeman's Mind or Stop Killing Games, like, he is not a technical guy, even though he does some cool technical stuff and problems, but he's not. But he's upfront about it. He's like, hey, I am not a technical guy, so I found other people who are qualified to speak on this, so I'm gonna platform them and they'll speak for whatever, and that's cool. Like, what's wrong with that, with being like, hey, I'm not qualified to speak on this? How hard is that? Heck, I say quite a bit. There's plenty of times where I'm like, hey, I know I'm a programmer, but I don't know everything. There's things I just don't know. I'm not deep in these weeds like this. It's okay to not know everything. Community with virtual breaking TOS on stream and cheating on several occasions, yet exposing cheaters. Yeah, they tend to do that. There is a thing for like people who expose others, typically having something to hide themselves. Not always, but you know, it's kind of interesting how you start seeing that kind of behavior crop up. Yeah, zero gameplay footage here, man. Like, I'm not seeing anything. Like, if you're developing something, like, if you want to be a content creation thing, fine, dude. Just make videos. Your videos are engaging and entertaining, and I'm cool with it. But if you're a studio, especially if you're in a point of, like, assessing, like, he assesses, hey, 75% of our objects are static, and then the rest are going to be dynamic objects. Like, you don't really get to that point unless you actually start having prototypes and things you're working with. Yeah, in that case, Pirate Software has got him beat. He's got two. He at least has, like, okay, not 2 games, 1.5 games. Let's say that, like 1.5 games to show. Like, if you're at this point, you'd at least have some concept art, hopefully, to understand what this game you're making is going to be about. Like, you can be transparent about it. You can say, hey, give us money so I can make more engaging videos and help support me with rent so I can do some game dev stuff, right? But we're in the same seat here. We're outsiders, potentially angel investors. If you're going to invest your money, or you want to support a project, not even invest, let's not even use that terminology. If you want to support a project, you kind of want to know what the project is that you're supporting. I think that's like, that's like, what, like community relations 101? Like, that's Commerce 101. I'm gonna buy a product or pay for something. I would like to know what I'm paying for. Like, this would be the place where you have concept art and, you know, an elevator pitch about what your game is. What is the thing you're selling? Are you selling an experience? What's the experience you're selling? Is it emotion? Is it a type of gameplay, a genre, whatever? I don't know, man. I love how Thor's boasting about Heartbound's art director being colorblind led to Heartbound's art being colorblind friendly. Meanwhile, Heartbound's art style is, it's pretty, It's one thing to be like, hey, this is color friendly, this is blind friendly, so blind people can still play and functionally get through the game. It's another thing to be like, hey, we just handicap the visuals of this game. Like, for no, like ideally, like, accessibility is like, hey, you can still at least access most of the game. You can access the game, and you're not going to be limited by, you're able to perceive colors. That's like one level of it. Intentionally diminishing the experience for 90% of people just for it to like not like, that's just odd to me. That's like that's a weird cost benefit, but whatever. Like, I'm not gonna be too judgy about that, because like, even for my game, I do some weird stuff that's, but I don't think it's gonna really affect end players at the end of the day. It only affects me, the way I dev stuff, so that's a different thing. I don't know. Like, limitations I'm less about, because like, even for the game, I'm doing pixel art. That's a purposeful limitation I'm adding onto it. But I guess you can argue that's a limitation that arises from utility, right? Because pixel art fundamentally is just faster and easier to make compared to illustrative art, right? Whereas Heartbound's limitations, like, it's like, I don't know. It's not that crazy. The color grading is cool, but you know what else is important? Shapes. Yeah. You hate to see it. You hate to say it. 8 years. Like, it kind of frustrates me, because like, I don't know about you, Safari, but for me, right, like, my time is, you know, I have a day job, and I do coding there, and I enjoy my day job, but, you know, any recreational code I have to do is on my spare time, so I'm kind of stretched on that, right? So I don't always have the time or bandwidth to work on the things I want to with the same capability I'd like to. And then to see a guy... Well, you know, maybe I shouldn't... Here's the thing. Like, let me continue my thought. I'm in this circumstance, and then I see this guy who for 8 years had funding to just do what he wants full time and still cannot produce a full game. That just kind of irks you. Now, that being said, maybe I don't envy his position at all, because, like, at the very least, with my day job, I've become such a better programmer, and I would not have grown as much as I have had I not been here and been exposed to things that I wouldn't have known otherwise. Whereas if, let's say, I trade spots with him, right, and I was able to be a full-time Twitch streamer, I probably would not be as good as a programmer as I am right now. I probably wouldn't have that same confidence. I probably would be in an echo chamber, just surrounded with, like, hey, Game Maker's good enough. Just stay in your Game Maker lane, brother. Just keep doing your Game Maker stuff. It's fine. Like, I'm not sure. I don't think I can say with full confidence that I would have become an actual better, or at least somewhat competent programmer had I been provided the same opportunity as him. So I'm not going to do this thing of, like, being like, hey, that should have been me. Because I think it would have been actually to my own detriment. But still kind of bothers me. I will say this. I think in Game Maker, with my limited knowledge, I still probably could have cranked out a game or two over 8 years. I don't know. I'm not going to talk too much crap, though. That feels like a wholly different circumstance. Oh, yeah, Oh, wait. I didn't download content. Apparently what I did before wasn't downloading content. I just downloaded the game. I didn't download the content, guys. I'm curious what that is. What is this, actually? Why is there 2 downloads? It's saying download, so it's not installing. I'm curious about this. I'm not feeling it. I'm getting hungry. I should probably do some gaming on this computer at some point. Eventually. The Steam Deck's been the best investment. I could just play in my bed. That's the biggest thing I need. Okay, we've been on here for a while. I've done absolutely 0 work. Fantastic, as all things should be, as it's meant to be, honestly. 0 work, a lot of yapping. Hey guys, I might just be the new Pirate Software. Yeah, I'll invest. This is a problem. I have to investigate my own time. I need to understand what's going on with memory. So we're just gonna have to get the old debugger. I need to find some good memory inspection tools for C++. I know there's Valgrind. That's a cool thing for like doing perf analysis and a bunch of other stuff. I need to learn how to use it better. But yeah, I need to inspect. I want to do some more memory inspection. Poke around in there. See what's going on. Okay, I think I'll end stream here though. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate your... I wasn't expecting anyone to show up today this late at night, but I appreciate it and I hope you have a good one. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later. And I'll be making an update, like a proper update video, State of the Union type deal to talk about what's going on with Cozy Cabin Games. But with that being said,